Hi, everyone, and welcome to My Favorite Conservative. I'm Edward.
I'm Andrea, and I am not the conservative, but he is my favorite conservative.
Thank you.
Yes. So, Edward, I like to call you CCR, Conservative Christian Republican. Do you think that's accurate?
That's somewhat accurate. I think it's a very small R as Republican, more big C, Christian and conservative, yes.
Okay. All
And
right.
you, how would you describe yourself?
I would say that I'm an independent, spiritual, kind of borderline libertarian if I had to pick a party, but I'm not registered to a party.
I think I would describe you more as a recovering Democrat. Is that accurate?
No.
Well, okay, let's dig a little deeper.
Okay, let's
Have you
dig.
been a registered Democrat?
I first registered as an independent when I was in California, and then I switched to Democrat because at the time to vote in a primary, you had to be
Okay.
part of that party. And that has now lapsed, and I have not been happy with a presidential candidate in almost a decade. So,
Well, besides a presidential candidate, what about the issues? Or let me ask it this way.
okay.
Do you feel the Democratic Party has moved away from you?
I feel the Democratic Party has moved so far left, they're almost spinning back around. Like they've jumped off a cliff. They're off the cliff. Okay. And it's sad. It makes me really sad because I feel like they left me.
Yeah,
So
it kind of sounds like where Elon Musk is at this point, where he, is more towards the center, but the Democrats keep going farther and farther left.
yeah, or
So,
even Joe Rogan, or I think Bill Maher, is
yeah,
getting there too. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. It makes me sad. It just makes me sad. So
understandable.
okay, so what are we going to talk about on this very first show? I know you've got a lot of topics. He's really into this. A lot of topics lined up. So what are we going to talk about?
Well,
Anything?
there's never nothing to talk about with today's society with
Yes,
what we have going
that's true.
on. Probably one of the big stories this week was the possible indictment and charges against Hunter Biden, the president's son, coming from a grand jury in Washington, D.C., I believe. A lot of mixed emotions on that one. I think this is it's more subterfuge in terms of, hey, let's charge Hunter with something, probably plea bargain it down to whatever, to some minor indiscretion, and then be able to say, hey, look, we've done an investigation, we've charged the president's son, and let's move on. Because I think everybody knows that the real story is not Hunter Biden, it's Joe Biden, and
Right.
it's the influence peddling that's gone on for the last, well,
Yeah, I want that job that Hunter had. Like, I want that. How much did that job pay?
oh, which one? I mean, we've got
The one,
Ukraine.
yeah,
The
one,
one
the
in
one with
Ukraine,
Ukraine. How much did that pay?
that was about anywhere from, I've heard, $50,000 to $80,000 a month.
Okay, that sounds like a sweet job to me.
It is, especially if you have absolutely no experience in energy
Oh,
whatsoever.
then I'm qualified, is what you're
Yes,
saying. I'm qualified.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're not a member of that certain club.
Oh, that's
that would allow
right.
that.
That's
But,
right. My father is not president of the United
well,
States, or vice president
Yeah,
at the
that's
time.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think also China is probably the bigger scandal that they've been involved with, and it gets pretty deep and convoluted in terms of the money that's changing hands and whatnot. But I think if the Republicans take the House and the Senate, that there will be many investigations into this.
Okay. Well, you teed us up perfectly. So let's talk about the election. The midterms are coming up. That's why we decided to launch this show before the midterms. And we live in a red state. Oh, we should have said that. By the way, we live in Alabama. So
Right.
we live in a red state in a blue city, I would say.
We're
Bluish,
a
purple city.
blue dot.
We're a blue
Yes.
dot. Yeah, where we live. We
Yes.
live near the university. So anyway, so midterm elections coming up. I think it's pretty certain that Republicans will take the House. How do you feel about the Senate? Because there are some interesting Senate races going on. Dr. Oz is gaining momentum.
There are, in the overall view, if Republicans cannot win with as bad as Democrats have governed in the first 2 years, then they have no choice forever. It's over. The society as we know it will be over.
Are you
Because-
going to walk away from the party?
No, I won't even move to Canada or anything like that.
No?
So, yeah, I won't leave the country. But Yeah, if you can screw up this badly as a Democrat in terms of pick a topic and maintain power, then we have
Okay.
deeper problems.
So I want to get back to the Senate
I understand.
races, but let's talk about these topics. So I'm just going to say a topic and you say, what you think about it. So yesterday we went grocery shopping.
We did
yesterday. And here's what's crazy. We don't have any children living at home anymore, just 2 adults. And we don't really eat a whole heck of a lot. And I don't even like, he doesn't cook. I hate to cook. So, we don't eat a lot is my point. So we spent how much at Costco? Do you want to tell the people?
It was over $400.
It was over $400 at Costco. And this did not include beauty products, which she teases me about. And it included only one thing for one of our pets. That's it. All the rest of it was groceries. And then we went to the Pig, which is our local grocery store, and spent another $50 just to get some vegetables. Kid you not, just fresh.
To be fair, it's called Piggly Wiggly.
It is called Piggly Wiggly, but everybody in the South calls it the Pig. Okay, so groceries. Okay, gas. Talk to me about gas.
Everybody's so excited because they've come down, but they've come down off historic highs. I mean, we're not talking. It came down from 250 to 225. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I guess we got to give Vladimir Putin all the credit because it was obviously Putin's price hike that caused
that's
this.
Right.
So he must have done something. I'm not sure what.
It has nothing to do with closing the Keystone Pipeline or refusing to get our own natural resources that we have right here in the good old US of A. Okay, so inflation, so that covers groceries and gas. What else has gone wrong in the last 2 years? What are the other topics that the Republicans really need to be talking about?
I think the Republicans should message the following, that tell everybody that on their way to the polling stations on November 11th, I believe it is, they should stop off, fill up their tank, and then hit the grocery store before they go. And I think that those 2 things right there should ensure a victory for the Republicans. But in terms of other things that are out there, I mean, the border crisis that we have and the energy and thing that we talk about. But getting back to what your original question was on the elections.
Yeah, the elections, yes.
You're seeing a concerted effort of Democrats playing the 2020 election again, meaning let's just all hide our heads in the sand and sit in a bunker in the basement like Joe Biden did for months and months and months.
But that worked for him.
It did.
That got him elected. So maybe it's a good strategy.
It did because he didn't have a track record at the time. There is a track record. I don't think there is a single Democrat in the entire country that has asked Joe Biden to come and campaign for them.
He did go to one, but they weren't happy about it.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
They weren't requesting him.
Yeah, they weren't asking him to show up.
It's not like calling ex-President Trump and saying, I need your help.
Or even like Obama. It's
So I mean, they're going with this, to go way back, a rope-a-dope strategy of Muhammad Ali, where you just sit there and take a pounding and don't show yourself. And if they do decide to debate, like Fetterman and Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania, they're not doing it until a few days before the election, when most people nowadays have already voted.
Yeah.
And any fallout can be mitigated pretty easily by the campaign. So it's kind of a brilliant strategy in terms of, if I were a Democratic strategist, in terms of being a voter, I'd be pretty pissed off because these people are applying for a job. And if you can't show up for the job interview,
that's right,
which is what a debate is.
That is right. You're right. So what about this? What about suggesting to people? I mean, there are some people that it doesn't matter who's running. They're going to vote Democrat. And there's some people, again, doesn't matter who's running. They're going to vote Republican.
Right.
But then you've got this group of people, and I would put myself in this place where I'm much more moderate. I don't vote straight down a ticket. I look at the individuals. So what do you think suggesting to people, don't vote early? Just don't do it. Now, there are some cases where, depending on your job, it's impossible to get to the polls. That's totally different. Or if you're serving our country and you're overseas and you have to mail in your ballot, totally different. But everybody else, you don't need to vote early. You don't.
Right. I will agree with you. It's voting day. It's not voting season.
Ooh, like that.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's fall. It's voting season, right? Where they think people are so stupid or what, I don't understand, but they just think that people need, months to vote, and you don't.
No.
I think I've kind of grown fond of having voting day. Obviously, is the November in second Tuesday in November.
I think it's the
Second,
first.
okay,
But anyway,
whichever.
it's on a weekday is the
Yeah,
problem.
it's on a Tuesday.
It's on a weekday.
And having the previous Saturday as an early voting time for the people that, can't get to the polls during the weekdays, I think there should be, mail-in voting for people that request it. Then you have to request it. None of this stuff where they're sending out ballots to every single household in the state or whatever the country, because that just leads to an incredible fraud that's, been being perpetrated. So it's okay to actually make people decide that they need to participate in it instead of just filling out a form and stick it in their mailbox, which is about the easiest thing that you can do. I'm sure they all want to go to online voting where they can just go in and punch a button, because we're somewhat lazy.
I can't tell you how many times I've been prompted to register to vote because I'm not registered here where we live. And the prompting is coming from everywhere. It's coming from social media. It's coming from Facebook. Facebook, don't get into the voting game. No, thanks. I don't want that. But also just other websites, are you registered to vote? And it's like this pop-up. I don't think that's cool.
It would be interesting to follow up on those and see where it leads you,
You mean see where it came from?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, originally. Yeah. Okay. So what do you think the chances are that the Republicans will actually take the Senate? So they're probably going to take the House. Let's talk about the Senate for just a second.
Going back to the House, I think they will take it, obviously.
I do too.
I don't think it's going to be epic proportions.
It's not going to be a red wave. I don't
think. It will be a wave as
a ripple.
Much.
It's a red ripple.
Baby tsunami. But, but only because so many districts have been redrawn that they are
gerrymandering.
They're virtual locks for the particular party. So I think, what did Obama lose? 63 seats, I think, something like that. I don't think we'll get close to that.
Okay.
But in terms of the Senate,
okay, hold on. If you look of where Obama was in 2010, his first 2 years versus Biden's first 2 years, I mean, I'm speechless. Obama, his first 2 years look like earned gold medal compared to Biden.
Well, in the comparison,
that's what I'm saying.
That's a pretty low bar.
It is a low bar, but I'm just
the only equivalent you're going to get is going back to Carter and equating him with.
How many seats did Carter lose?
I don't have a tip of my fingers.
A couple dozen. Maybe somebody can put that in the comments.
Well, they didn't lose the House.
They didn't?
Well, no, because you got to remember, the first time the Republicans won the House in 40 years was in 1994.
Oh, was that Newt?
That was Newt Gingrich with Contract with America. Yeah. So the previous 40 years, the Democrats still held the House no matter what was happening. So as bad as Carter was, they still held the House.
Okay, we're getting off track. Back to the Senate. Talk to me.
Senate. Interesting, because there's a lot of interesting candidates on both sides, I would say. I mean, let's look at the Fetterman Dr. Oz race in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's a good one. And now Oz is starting to close the gap a little.
Yeah, definitely. I think people are starting to realize when they hear John Fetterman speak, he utters incoherent babble.
He had a stroke.
He suffered a stroke.
Yeah,
he has a massive goiter-looking thing on the back of his neck that can't be healthy.
I think he should go to Dr. Pimple Popper and get that lipoma just scraped. Do you know what I mean? But okay, going on.
Yeah, he makes no sense whatsoever. I just can't believe, and people, if you're watching in Pennsylvania, please don't be fooled by.
If you don't want to vote for him, if you don't want to vote for Dr. Oz because you typically vote Democrat, but you don't like this guy, then just stay home. You know what I mean? You don't have to vote for the other team, but just stay home.
Yeah, because you're voting for somebody who is mentally incapacitated.
Yeah.
And there is no guarantee that he will regain his functions.
Yeah.
And do you really want somebody walking around the halls of the greatest deliberative body in the world that can't put two sentences together? Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got a president now, but
okay. All right. We'll put that aside for the moment. Let's talk about Florida, the hurricanes. You
Mhm.
are from South Florida. So would you please tell the audience where you're from?
I am.
And also your one, I know you've had more than one, but that one hurricane that you went through.
I grew up in South Florida my entire life, over on the East Coast near Fort Lauderdale, Coral Springs, actually. And in fact, my oldest son works for the sheriff's department in Naples, Florida, which is just above where the hurricane hit. So yeah, it's hurricanes, not fun at all. Fort Myers got decimated. And the one good thing that I'm seeing come out of this is the leadership of Ron DeSantis. I think he has really proven himself. They've already got bridges rebuilt, or at least temporary bridges to some of these, like Sanibel Islands and things like that, that were totally crushed. So it's nice to see. And the way that you know he's doing well is the mainstream media can't find a story that shows that he's incompetent or anything like that. So, and he got together with Biden, and of course Biden tried to push the climate change thing on him, but they're getting the funds. So hurricanes, no fun. The last big storm I went through down there was Wilma, which was in 2005.
And you had just moved into your new house, right?
Just moved in. Fortunately, a brand new house, and it was all hurricane proofed and everything. So we just had to basically close the doors and lock them, and weathered it. But
you lost electricity too, right?
Oh, yeah, for 11 days. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, that was fun.
With 3 kids.
With 3 little ones, yes, at the time. Yeah. I've never been in an area that was hit like Fort Myers. So I can't quite relate to that. Wilma was really bad for what we got, but we didn't have the flooding and things like that they're having there. So yeah, we wish them all the best, because it's going to affect lives for years and years and years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What else would you like to talk about?
Oh goodness. I saw.
Well, no. So this is where I have always veered away from the Democratic Party. I've always felt like, and maybe this is what makes me a little bit more of a libertarian, I always felt like we should put America first, long before Trump ever came up with that. I always felt like, we should support our citizens, we should support ourselves and use our own natural resources. And I am not an environmentalist. That is not one of my top priorities in life. So I'll just say that. I think it's really important that we don't depend on other countries when we have so many natural resources here. So talk to us about this mine that opened up in Idaho, and what does that mean exactly? Yeah,
it was kind of interesting. Just came out, I believe, on this past Friday. The first cobalt mine in the United States has opened. Now, granted, it will only provide us 10% of the cobalt that we're going to need.
And what is cobalt, for people who don't know? What do we need it for?
It's a raw mineral, a rare mineral, actually, that is usually only found in the Republic of Congo, over in Africa.
With child workers. Children.
Yes. So that green energy, and cobalt is primarily used, they need tons of it for making car batteries.
Got it.
Because we're all going green, and you have to have a lot of batteries. And
green looks good on me.
It does. Yeah. That's very good. Yeah. But with the vast amount of cobalt in the world being controlled by China, which basically controls these mines in the Congo, this was actually a good step for us.
Yeah.
Kudos to the administration. You don't hear me saying that too often.
Oh, kudos.
That obviously they either that, or I don't know the entire story, and they tried to stop it with everything they have, and some federal judge finally ruled against them.
Maybe someone can let us know. So what about Keystone Pipeline?
Mistake number 1. That was Biden's first hour in office. I think he signed to shut that thing down. And I don't know if you saw
how much oil would that have given us? How many jobs? I'm just rhetorical questions here.
Supposedly everything that he shut down would run about 2 million to 3 million barrels a day that would
help.
Yeah. And I mean, he did that the first day in office only because Trump did it. It was a Trump.
Well, that's been his whole presidency so far. It seems that do the opposite of what Trump did.
Yeah, orange man bad.
Yeah,
right. We're going with that.
Orange man bad. Yeah.
But yeah, it's the height of irresponsibility as a leader to put your country at the mercy of your enemies.
Yeah.
And you're talking about China with coal, and we're now begging Venezuela and the Saudis again to drill more oil, and they just basically told us to go pound sand. And not only are they not increasing it, they're going to decrease up to 2 million barrels a day to get the price. So it's hard for me to fathom that an administration can be this stupid, to put it plainly. Is it part of a plan? Yeah, probably, that they want everybody on, and use the air quotes, green energy, because it's as far as green as if you really look into it in terms of what's needed for it. It's incredibly dirty. They won't look at nuclear, which is the cleanest energy possible that's out there, to put us in peril. Not only could we were energy independent.
I know we were. Yeah. It was
but
awesome.
Not only would we be energy independent, we would be dominating the world right now because so many people need it, because, we can talk about the Nord Stream pipeline.
I like that she called it Nordstrom. I mean, was that our vice, our VP?
No, that was Karine Jean-Pierre.
The press secretary?
Secretary, yes.
Press secretary,
I
think
she was looking for a new outfit.
Okay.
Which, by the way, she is a very good dresser.
She is?
She is.
Oh, okay, because that's a qualification for the job?
Well, I think you had to be a person of color, you had to be a lesbian, and a female. So, and a good dresser, I think.
So she checked
right along with that.
Four boxes. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, but I like that she called it Nordstrom. I don't think that was a terrible mistake. It is called Nord Stream.
Yes.
What is that?
There are two pipelines, Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2, that flow from basically Russia down into, I believe it is Denmark, Germany area.
Yeah, I think it's Germany. Yeah.
And somehow both of them sprung leaks.
What?
Yeah, at the same time, or within hours of each other. So this is the administration trying to say that Russia sabotaged its own pipeline, because that's what you do when you're at war with another country and need petrodollars, is you go ahead and sabotage your own money supply. It will be interesting. President Biden, not that long ago, when he was asked about the pipeline, said, we will stop the pipeline, and in no uncertain terms. And, it seems like somewhat of a veiled threat. I hope it wasn't us. If it was us, I hope we got somebody that can't be traced back to us. But I don't think it's a wise move.
Isn't that going to hurt the people of Europe?
Well, yeah, people are going to die in Europe. And also what it does, I think.
So I can't believe we did it.
Right. But even the bigger picture is, now is it open season on electrical grids, on internet cables around the globe, things like, does this now give our enemies a reason to do this?
All right. So we have to end on an up note, a happy note. So what is one thing that has gone well this week?
Ooh.
Oh, I stumped them.
Well, we haven't had nuclear war. How's that?
Okay.
Although the president actually did say the word Armageddon, that we are closer to Armageddon than we have been for many, many, many years. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that was a good word to use. One thing that's gone right this week? Nothing?
Both my football teams lost, so that's not.
Oh, gosh. Okay, he has nothing. I don't know what to say.
It's been a tough week. Yeah. How about yourself?
One thing that's gone well this week?
Yes.
God, you turned it back on me, didn't you? Well, this is a really hard time of year for me. I hate to say I don't really know.
We'll have to work on this segment.
Yeah, we're going to have to work on this part. What's gone well this week? I don't know. This is My Favorite Conservative.
I'm Edward.
I'm Andrea. Talk to you later.